If that sounds conservative, then let me tell you, I don't care. Somebody has got to stand up for the things that make this country great.
Keir Starmer has just admitted, out loud, in front of people, that he is a Tory fighting an ideological battle to shift the Labour Party to the right. It is New Labour's attack on Clause 4, that is the clause removed by Tony Blair that committed Labour to pursuing public ownership, as Starmer says, on steroids. He is admitting that he wants more privatisation, even as 500 people a week are dying due to decreased funding and increased privatisation in the NHS, even as rail services are being stripped to the bone and rail workers forced to take unprecedented strike action. Even as we find out that privatised water companies discharged raw sewage into our waterways more than 300,000 times last year. But Sir Keir thinks the problem is that we don't have enough privatisation, and just for good measure, that people don't wave flags like they used to. This man has no idea, and he doesn't want one either. He just wants power. His entire legal and political career has followed a clear trajectory of ever-increasing closeness to the levers of state and ever-increasing authoritarianism alongside it. We can see that with how he behaved as Director of Public Prosecutions, making, for example, personal appearances in court after the 2011 riots to praise judges for handing down custodial sentences for minor infractions that wouldn't otherwise get them, ruining the lives of hundreds of mostly young people. We can see it in his participation in the chicken coup when he was in Jeremy Corbyn's shadow cabinet, or even how he consistently undermined Corbyn when he was shadow Brexit secretary. We can see it in the fact that he won't answer the question of whether he'll repeal the Tories' human rights abusing policies if he gets into power. The guy's a snake who will say and do literally anything to get power. Whether it's declining to scrutinise regressive Tory legislation or telling outright lies again and again and again. And to my mind, that's a pretty good reason why he shouldn't be let anywhere within 100 feet of power. And look, there are some times when you're proven right that it gives you that dangerous little ego boost that you have to keep in check. Then there are other times when you really wish you weren't. I've never been a member of Labour, but I was one of the people shouting seemingly into the void when Keir Starmer was standing to be leader, because I could see his record, and yet I, like many others, was shouted down and told it was time to show unity. Just as there will doubtless be many in my comments doing likewise now, accusing me of being a Tory for daring to criticise the man who's just admitted to being a Tory. Isn't it funny how those on the Labour right want unity when they're in power, but a knife to stab the left in the back when they're not? Well, this is what you've got now. A man so committed to Labour that he's literally a Tory. You did this, not the rest of us.